I would like to start off by saying a big shout out to my younger sister Chloe, because in her own words, she would murder me if I did not at least say her name in this speech. And for those of you that know how mean she is, you know that she is not lying. And then I'd also like to say something about my little sister Kennedy, because in her own words, you never mention me in any of your talks. So several years ago, there was a story told about an elderly widowed man and his donkey. Because this man lived very far away from the city and was almost always alone, he and his donkey had a very special relationship. The farmer loved to feed and care for and clean this donkey, and when he was feeling especially lonesome, the donkey was always there to listen to the farmer's tales of adventure, questions about life, or just simply news of the day. Then one tragic morning, the farmer discovered his precious donkey deep at the bottom of an abandoned well. The farmer frantically tried everything he could think of to bring the donkey back to the surface, but quickly realized there was nothing he could do to save it. Not wanting his ill-fated donkey to slowly starve to death at the bottom of the well, the farmer brought out his shotgun to end the donkey's life as painlessly and quickly as possible. But when he looked into the sad, scared eyes of his sweet donkey, he could not bring himself to do the deed. So he traded in his shotgun for a shovel and began digging some dirt up, so that way he decided the only other humane option was to bury the donkey. But when he picked up the first scoop of dirt and tossed it into the well, he noticed something rather curious. Instead of just staying under the dirt, the donkey simply shook the dirt off of his back and stepped up onto the pile that the farmer had created. Excitedly, the farmer scooped more piles of dirt into the well, and the donkey continued to shake the dirt off of his back and step up. Eventually, the pile was high enough that the donkey could step right out of the well into the farmer's arms. In our own lives, there will be numerous challenges and obstacles blocking our way. Nothing will simply be handed to us anymore. Hard work and perseverance will be required to build the type of life that we want to live. Sometimes as we are diligently working towards a goal, it may seem as though we have fallen in a hole and are being buried alive. But we, like the donkey, must learn how to shake off these challenges and step up. If we do this and continue to persevere, we too will reach success and end up exactly where we want to be. As a 10-year-old little girl, my father ingrained in me the saying, "Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard." I can remember him shouting this at me countless times as I struggled to pitch a ball underhanded with absolutely no wind-up that probably arced about 10 feet in the air, slow pitch style. The fact that I was born with my mother's poor athleticism was of no excuse to him. But as I have grown older and progressed as a pitcher, I have realized that this adage applies to far more than just softball. My father's lessons to me was one of the greatest that I have ever learned. Just because the going gets tough or you lack the talent of the next candidate does not mean that you have an excuse either. I think the greatest example to me of this principle is my mother. As many of you know, she was born with a rare eye disease that left her legally blind and unable to drive and see most things very clearly. Now, most people would think that this would stop her from achieving many of her goals or would at least significantly slow her down. But not my mom. I think that in fact it did quite the opposite. I think it motivated her to achieve what most people would assume would be impossible. She has become the best cook that I know, especially when it comes to dessert, and anyone who has had her food can attest to this. She also is a wonderful seamstress, and when me and my younger sisters were a little bit younger, she would always sew these intricate and beautiful dresses for us at Christmas and Easter all by herself, even though she would have to use a magnifying glass. And she also has taken up photography, and many of her photos that she takes and edits have been likened to many professionals. She even passed physical therapy school and is one of the greatest physical therapists I know, even though she has to use magnifying glass again to read any of the words that are written in textbooks. Just like my mother, I believe that hard work will allow us to surpass any boundaries that our own talent has set for us. In Winston Churchill's later years, he visited his boyhood school that he went to when he was younger to deliver a speech. The headmaster of the school went and told all of the children that the greatest British man of their time would be coming to speak to them. He then instructed each student to bring a pen and paper so that way they could record what Mr. Churchill wrote, because it would certainly be something that they would want to remember for the rest of their lives. After the elderly statesman was introduced, Winston Churchill proceeded to walk up to the podium and speak 5 simple words. Never, never, never give up. He then sat down. That was his entire speech. Sometimes in life, even though you are trying your hardest and you may be working yourself half to death, it may seem as though life has knocked you down. However, just as simply as Winston Churchill put it, we must always remember to never let our obstacles overpower us, and never, never, never give up. Paul Harvey, a famous news analyst and author, once famously said, "I hope to know enough of the world's success one day that someone will ask of me, what is the secret of it? I shall simply say, I get up when I fall down." Tonight it is apparent that we have shaken off the challenges of high school. We have somehow survived Ms. Shelfer's hardest government test. We have shied away from the teachers just enough for them not to notice that we weren't always in dress code, and have even mastered the art of texting under our desks without making it obvious. However, as we receive our diplomas tonight, we will be stepping up into a new chapter of our lives. Our story is now our own to write. I challenge each of you to not let your challenges and obstacles or your own weaknesses limit what you can accomplish. I know that if we all work diligently and always get up when we fall down, we will reach success and have the life that we want to live. Our story will be one to remember. Starting today, let's do like Drake and turn your birthday into a lifestyle.